Our intro music is provided by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com.
The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network and its website are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcasts, the management, other hosts, or advertisers of the network. The shows found on the Night Dreams Talk Radio Network can, but do not necessarily, promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Your Saturday paranormal psychic and ghost hunter on Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, James Creachbaum.
Hello, everybody. It's me. And let me just get right to it. This week in paranormal news, I got to touch on this. A mother in Atlanta, Georgia, she was looking over her security camera, got a message that there was somebody in the entranceway. Her and her daughter checked the video, and it was her son who died 2 years ago. Very fascinating. Check out the video. It is very fascinating, I got to tell you. I don't know what to think about it yet, but I'm still working on it. Another thing, a man who was abducted in 1973. I remember this case a long time ago. He's come forward. He's ill now. He's writing a book about it. He said he was fishing, him and his buddy. He's got bright light, got blinded. Next thing he knows, he looks up, and there's three bulking, quote him, that's what he said, bulking aliens that came and took him. And so now he's writing a book about it. That sounds to be something fascinating. What's your views on that? And if that's not enough, super blood wolf moon lunar eclipse is upon us. How will that affect the animals, the people, the weather? Lord, hold on. Anyway, without further ado, here's my guest, Ann Marie Hoff. Ann Marie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, James. I am an animal communicator and intuitive medium. I talk to ghosts and people that are in heaven, and animals that are in heaven. Wow.
So I got to ask this question. At roughly what age was you when you realized, hey, I'm a little bit different than most kids? I mean, when did this, first, come upon you that you realize this?
What happened is I was in pharmaceutical sales and very happy with that, but I kept getting more and more chronic pain. And what was happening is I was going into the hospitals and I was picking up dead people. And when I channel somebody, I will feel how they died in my body. So I was having a lot of pain that wasn't mine. And I wasn't getting any success from the normal doctors that were trying to help me. So I decided I would just try anything, and I did Rolfing and acupuncture, and I spent a weekend with Doreen Virtue training on how to be a medium, not thinking I was one, but thinking I wanted to be around her and seeing if anything she did would make a difference. Mm-hmm. And I was the best medium there. So that kind of changed my world.
Right. Listen, I got to tell you something. One of my friends is on here now, and she can tell you, one day there was a whole series of events that happened. I've been psychic most of my life, but there was a series of events that happened to me like a perfect storm. November of 2017, it opened my third eye, and I thought I was losing my mind. I asked my friend,
it does a lot.
I asked my medium friend, I told her, what's going on? She said, welcome to my world, and I've been buckling my seatbelts ever since. I still hear locusts in my ears. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. But so when did you realize, now the channeling part, now that's got to be tough. If you go to a place where there's overwhelming, like, how could you ever go to a place like Waverly or something like that? Have you ever dared venture to a place like that?
No. What I usually do is I focus on the name, and that's how that stuff comes through.
Okay.
And every once in a while, like, it's interesting, I knew a lot of doctors when I first was doing this because they were my friends. And it would be interesting who would come through. Like, I had a cardiologist friend that his mother was German, and I actually saw her standing next to him all the time, and she was positive she was going to get through and give him a message. Where other people, I didn't get that.
Right.
And, so it's interesting. It's a lot of times if the spirit wants to come through, they'll find a way to get your attention.
Well, one way or another. I mean, and that brings me to a point, because I've been around a long time, and a lot of people, they misinterpret spirits. I think they think they're evil or something. I think a lot of times, from my world, they're just trying to get your attention, get a message across, or something, and people misinterpret it. Because, I mean, after all, 9 out of 10 people can't hear, see, or feel them, so it's like they get frustrated maybe and try and do anything to get your attention. Have you found the same kind of? Okay, go ahead.
Because I work with animals, a lot of, like, probably 30% of my animal behavior issues come from them seeing ghosts. And they will either try to protect their human or help their human with the ghost. I had a woman that her dog was peeing around her chair. And when I talked to the dog, the woman's ex-husband had died and wanted to get back with her, so he was there as a ghost. And the dog was trying to protect her by peeing around her chair.
Fascinating.
So that's the kind of thing I run into all the time. And the interesting thing is these beings have amazing stories. I mean, they're very developed stories about what happened to them when they were alive.
I can imagine. Go ahead. That's good.
Well, and the other thing, like, to me, so I start asking questions when I get a spirit, and I find out if they're here or if they're in heaven.
Right.
And if they're here, usually they haven't thought stuff through, or they're trying to hold on to something, and that's why they didn't leave.
So in other words, you're talking about earthbound spirits that haven't crossed over. You're talking about, is that what you're talking? Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it seems like, I don't know if you've run into this as a medium, but some mediums talk to earthbound people and some mediums talk to heaven, and I can talk to both groups. So I try to put them where they are, and if they're earthbound, I usually cross them because that is where they should be.
I'm totally on board with you. I get what you're saying, and I agree on all of it. So, yeah, gotcha. So now, now, when these animals, so then let me ask you this. So do people seek you out when they have problems with animals that could be spirit related that's causing them to act out or not do as they normally do? Is that what happens?
Well, the interesting thing is when I first started doing this, because I have a science background, I just wanted to say I was telepathic. And I would run into all these people that had ghosts. And I'd tell them they had a ghost. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's at Dorothy. She bangs the pots every morning at 10. And most people that have a ghost know they have a ghost.
Yeah.
I also work.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, most people, I think everybody has abilities. Just some people have, it's more to the surface. So if your gut feeling
Right.
something, you got a spirit or something, you probably do. I mean, unless you're watching too much TV. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and the other thing is if a spirit is well, this is the other thing that is a little dangerous about it. If a spirit is manifesting a lot, they're getting energy from somewhere because they don't have their own energy anymore. Their energy came from their body.
Yep.
So if they're manifesting, they're either getting energy off the house or the people. And another time I start looking for earthbound spirits is if the person has like chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia,
Low potassium, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
There's
Yep.
a lot of reasons that point to ghost skimming energy.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that, 100%. And I've seen it through my so-called scientific experiment, so to speak, throughout my life. But yeah, I get where you're going with that. So then, when you find that these people have that, do you try to counsel them about it, or what do you do?
Well, usually, if you get the ghost to cross, the disease just goes away.
Yeah, right.
So it's like a miracle to the person that has it.
Now, my question is, do you come across some people that just won't let go of their loved ones or whatever, and by them not letting go, if they're their own worst enemies? You ever come across that in your travels?
Absolutely. And then the other thing, too, is I think with the pets, a lot of people feel comforted having their spirit around, and they don't realize that it's not in heaven.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Jeez.
And the other thing I look for there is if somebody keeps the ashes of their pet, our pets love us very much, and they want to do what we want them to do.
Right.
So if we ask them to stay, they stay. And I think there's something about keeping the ashes of a pet that makes the pet think you want them to spiritually stay there.
Yeah, and I found that with humans too sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then, what do you have to try to convey to the owners? Look, maybe you need to scatter the ashes and release and let them go, or how do you go about that?
I have a release ceremony. If they want to keep the ashes, I have a release ceremony you can do and keep the ashes.
Oh,
the
that's
other thing, yeah,
that's beautiful.
It's
That's beautiful.
Reincarnate.
Oh, beautiful.
So you're keeping your pet from coming back to you, which is kind of the way the flow of things should go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I see where you're going with this.
I fully now believe that our pets love us so deeply, and we get to know them so completely that we recognize them when they come back.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's a way humans are going to learn to accept reincarnation.
Well, yeah, that makes sense to me. So, wow, that's good stuff right there. So then, once you convey that to them, do people like try to give you a hard time about it mostly, or do they mostly on board with it?
Usually, if I tell them the way it is, they the last thing they want is their pet to suffer, to be in a in between space, like a fugue state. So they usually cross them. Yes, it's all about education on what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people don't even know these things, actually, I would imagine, too, right?
No, and they think they're doing the best thing by their pet. So it's really good to be able to change that up and have them actually do the best thing by their pet.
Absolutely. And, by doing that, it's the best thing for everybody all involved, really, I would imagine, right?
Right, because the other thing that happens is with beings that are earthbound, it lowers the vibration of the whole planet. And we want to get the vibration of the planet up. The closer we get to Christ consciousness, the less fighting and lying and crap that will go on in this dimension.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for 1 second. I just want to tell everybody on Facebook Live, hey, go on over to www.nightdreamstalkradio.com and continue listening on this fabulous guest with fabulous information. So I'll see you on the other side. All right, go ahead, Ann.
And do what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got a lot of questions, but I thought you were still talking about the thing here. But anyway, let me ask you this. You was talking about, now, when you say psychic medium, can you psychically, well, obviously you can psychically talk to the animals too, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.